Hello everyone, this is Mickey and Kathy back with you again from the Hills Mill Homestead. Today we're out here catching up on some of the errands that we need to do for our garden, and we'll get a few questions about our copper electroculture antennas, about what to do with them in the wintertime. And it really doesn't, it's not going to make any difference on the copper antenna itself if you leave it out in the wintertime, but we just like to pick them up and put them in the barn, keep them in a bucket for the following spring, and that way they're easy to keep up with. If you're not careful, when the leaves fall and all that, the weeds grow on them and die, then it's going to make them harder to find. So we just like to pick them up now as we're doing the rest of the things that we need to do. So as I said, we just gather ours up and put them away in the barn. And you can tell the difference between a new one and one that's been out in the weather and it's kind of tarnished a little bit, but it has no effect on the electroculture. It works 100% either way. And as you can see, we try to keep ours 2, 3, 4 inches away from each plant. Next thing I'm going to be doing is coming out here and taking off all of these clips off of the strings, and I'll throw them in a bucket where we'll save those for next year. And then I'll pull that plant up and clean it, and then I'm just going to leave the landscaping fabric, I'm going to leave it here this year and replant where it's at. Seems to be all of those. I am disassembling our drip system for the winter. It's the most important thing about your drip system is this pressure valve. When you order your drip system, make certain you get a pressure valve to go with it. And what that does is it allows only a certain amount of pressure to go into your lines. Because if you put too much pressure in your lines, it just blows them out. So that's the most important piece that you'll have. And I just go store this in the winter, turn it upside down and make sure there's no water in it to freeze. Turn it upside down and pull it out again in the spring. These connections to take the lines off, they're all backwards thread, so you can take them off. Pull that line off, just so we don't lose this. Let's put it back in place. That way I don't have to hunt for it in the spring. Just like that. Same thing here. Go backwards with it. Pull that line off, and that piece is ready for the storage and have it put away. I'll have to take it over the rest of the way loose over there. But now, roll these lines up, clean these pots out, these containers, because we need to fill them back up in the spring for all the nutrients and how it's settled. So that's very important about containers. So we've got to continue to put fresh nutrients in the soil. And we don't use any fertilizer. So we're just using compost. You can see there's our electroculture. Let's see what kind of roots this plant has on it. That looks like a pretty good root ball with the electroculture attached to it. So that's not a bad root ball for such a small plant. So I'd say that it's got some really good nutrients. Need to get a wheelbarrow and put all those in. It's the reason I'm not going to take them out now. But we're going to take out all of our electroculture antennas and we'll put them away. And in the spring, we'll reuse them. That's one of the great benefits about electroculture antennas is you use them year after year after year. You don't have to worry about buying fertilizer. If you have the proper nutrients in your soil, these antennas are just going to boost those nutrients. So you don't have to add all the normal fertilizers, chemicals, and all that. So we try not to use any fertilizer whatsoever. As long as you have the right nutrients, pH balance, everything that would be necessary to grow vegetables or plants, as long as it's already in that soil, these electroculture antennas are just going to boost what's already there. Here it is, first week of December, hills of Tennessee, beautiful weather, not so bad today, around 50 degrees. So it's time that we get everything done because winter is coming. There will be days that we can't get out here and do anything. So we have to take advantage of all the opportunities of when we're not busy, we've got plenty of things that we can be busy doing. Guys, if there's anything that I'm going to do different this next spring, is these containers are going to be filled about 2 inches from the top. Now we've got plenty of compost where we compost from our chickens and our scraps and our rabbits. The rabbit manure is the best that you can have here on their homestead other than the worm casting. So we take advantage of the rabbit manure a lot. So as far as my evaluation of the electroculture and the containers, I'll just say that as you can see, these plants are not large plants, but my goodness, they sure produced heavy. And we'll see down on the end where that some peppers are left because we're letting them dry to gather the seeds for next year. But overall, with the electroculture antennas in this container, it's the way to go. I mean, it absolutely is. If you'll look on our videos when we were picking peppers and all that, you'll see that these dudes were just loaded. And guys, that just shows that you don't have to have a huge garden to have a lot of vegetables. These containers, as I said, these are the smaller ones. These are about the 30 gallon, and they are a perfect size for peppers. You could even grow tomatoes in them. However, in my opinion, the key to it is the drip system. Without the drip system, in the hot summer, these are black containers. The sun is going to dry the soil out really fast, and so you're going to be doing it by bucket or hose, and that just really becomes an extra job for gardening. And so I'm a firm believer in the drip system. I've been using it for decades, and for these smaller containers and the bigger containers. So I'm gonna come down here at the end and show you that there's a few peppers left that we've been picking the dried peppers to save for seed. And we've been doing that on everything this year. Looks like that one's about ready. We'll be able to get a few more. But as soon as we get all the ones that we want to save for our seeds, then I'm going to pull all of these plants out of here, clean these containers up. But now I'm going to wait till spring before I fill these containers all the way up, simply because there's no sense in letting it just sit here and dissipate some of the nutrients and all that every time it rains. So that's the deal, what we're working on at the moment. We're going to get all of our drip lines up. We don't want to have anything out here after a freeze. And we're going to try to extend our garden area a little more and grow some more varieties of vegetables and everything. And we're going to continue to make some videos with that. And we hope that you're learning something and maybe following along with what we're doing on some of it as far as containers and gardening. But the electroculture guys, you know, there's just no denying how it works. I've been doing it for a long time, and I will say that we've already got the word. It's been out, you know, in the news that after the end of this year, copper is going to continue to rise. They're expecting it to go up at least 20% in 24. And if you haven't got your copper antennas, check out our website at hillsmill.com and look on the tab for our electroculture antenna. And right now we're not raising the price, but when the price of the copper goes up, we'll have to go up on our price as well. So guys, I had a couple more pieces here that I need to take apart and get stored in the barn so they don't freeze. A little rusty. That might do it. And as you can see, I don't glue these. Now you could glue them, but then you're going to be left with having to either have a bigger place to store them, or you're going to have to leave them outside. And you don't really want to leave them outside. There's all there is to it. One more place. I've got these staples on it, keeping it down on the ground. And there we go. Now all I have to do, take those two lines loose and store all the 1-inch pipe, and then I'll just roll up the drip system onto a spool, and it'll be good to go to next year. And you know how I am about trying to take advantage of every space that we have for a garden. So I'm thinking about putting another row of containers in this area for this spring. We've got to see how many containers we have. Remember I said a long time ago, we're going to terrace this thing all the way to the highway. If that's what it takes to have more of a garden and more vegetables. For our farm store this year, we need more vegetables. We need more plants. So that's the whole plan. And so we'll see. It's a process. You know, you can't do it all at one time. It's too expensive, and it's a lot harder to just jump in and try to do a big area at one time. So we're just adding a little more each year. And the area, let's look at this other area where I've been laying this stone. Shown in the other video. We've got another video coming out about how to lay these stones for a foundation. But our plan, and the reason I had this footer, I poured this footer whenever I started this place several years ago. And so I was always going to come back and put a rock foundation under it. So now I've actually had time to do it. But our plan is I'm going to build another retaining wall right through here. And then I'm going to fill this up with soil all the way to the top of the footer. And level this out, and I've got another strawberries. That's what I want. I want a strawberry bed.
Perennial.
We may be doing some daffodils and some all kinds of pretty flowers. What's your favorite?
Dahlias.
Dahlias. So we'll see about that. But that's a plan of also extending our garden. And so if you'll turn around and just show everybody what you can. This is as big of an area right now as we have for a garden. But guys, go back and look at our videos and you'll see that you can actually grow a tremendous amount of vegetables in just a smaller place. You don't have to have a 5-acre flat field, although that'd be nice, but we have to use what we have. So we're trying to make the best of what we have available and try to use every inch of it. We are in the hills of Tennessee, so this is what we're into right now. And I'd like to say, guys, thank you for watching. We know everyone's time is valuable, and we appreciate you spending a few minutes with us, and maybe you'll learn something from what we're doing, especially on electroculture. Don't forget hillsmill.com for your electroculture antenna. Great Christmas presents, by the way, but great presents all around.
Year round.
Yes, year round. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.